one.
Hi, I'm John Tushingham. Tim Long, who's behind the camera there, and Mike Weston have just got back from meeting Joysway at the Nuremberg Toy Fair, where the two new versions, the version 395 and the version 865, have been launched. It was a bit too noisy to do any filming in there, so here we are back in sunny Yorkshire in England, where I can show you on a couple of sample boats that I have. So if we can pull in first. The boats at first sight might look exactly like the outgoing versions, but there's actually 19 changes, some very, very small, some a little bit more significant. We'll start off with the changes which are common to both 65 and 95, and we'll start in the servo tray area. The main one, and the reason it's called a new version, is the new DF winch. It replaces the old grey DF winch. It's a completely new one, even though it looks the same. We've been testing it for over 6 months. It is a lot more accurate at the end points, and so far it's been totally reliable. Fingers crossed on that one, but it is definite step up from the old winch. The thing you will notice about it when you get one and you first switch on, and I'll demonstrate it here. If I switch the boat off and move the sheet control stick on the transmitter and then switch the boat back on, the winch line will move very, very slowly until it reaches the new position of the sheet stick on the transmitter. From that point on, it will move at normal speed. So that's something you can distinguish the new winch with. I believe that's a safety measure so nothing gets trapped or broken. The performance of the winch in terms of speed is identical to the old winch, so no performance gain there, and it fits the same red and orange winch drums. So it's the standard winch now. You can of course retrofit that to any previous version. So that's the winch. The next thing, really, the next big difference is the on-off switch has been altered so you can fit or refit the winch from the top of the tray rather than having to fit it up from the underneath.
Switch, John. Switch, not winch.
Switch. Sorry, the switch, yeah. So the switch can be fitted now from the top of the tray. That needed a new adapter plate and a much bigger hole in the servo tray. You can, all new boats will come this way now. You can retrofit this to an older boat, but it does mean buying the new version trays which come with the adapter plate. The switch itself is the same switch we have been using, so it is adaptable, but if you're not having a problem, you don't need to do it. Next thing is the tiller arm is a new moulding. It's stronger. It's not as long, so it doesn't interfere with the switch, so it can't knock the switch on and off. Again, standard fitting. It's available as an extra, so you can retrofit it. The screws that locate the servo tray into the hull have been changed to flat head screws rather than the countersunk head screws. It should eliminate any cracking from the screws. And the actual hatch patch, the clear patch on the 95 has been slightly amended to accommodate them, but actually the last one still does fit. And you'll notice that the patches have now got a clear centre and a slightly bigger glue area around the outside. That's common on both 65 and 95. Moving forwards, biggest change are the bearings and the gooseneck are now stainless steel. You're still advised to put some kind of lubricant on there, and if you're sailing in brackish or salt water, do rinse them out straight away. They're not they're not rust proof. They still will rust, but you stand a better chance. The main sheet bridle plate has been amended slightly. It's twice as thick. For a lot more strength. They were proven to be probably slightly weak. And moving forwards, the deck slider plate for the mast, the fit into the groove is slightly tighter. It's a little bit, there's no slop in it, and the nut and bolt that fasten it in are now 316 grade stainless steel, and the nut is glued in underneath the fitting, so it's a captive nut and will not drop out if you unscrew the top. You'll also notice the new winch line elastic. This replaces the old black elastic, which had a very short lifespan. Hopefully this one is a better quality. The mast stub, the inner tube for the mast stub, and the boom joiners, sorry, the mast joiners in the DF65, they have been, the diameter is slightly increased, so it's a better fit into the mast tubes, so we should get nice even bend characteristics. Another change which is common to both the yachts is the jib boom tack fitting, where the uphaul line used to run into the boom. It now just goes through a very small eye in the end of it. Very hard to get on the video, I should think. It does mean that the arrangement here is very, very simple for the adjuster. Much easier to rig and easier to replace if it ever were to break on you. The mainsail luff rings on both 65 and 95 have been changed slightly. The way they hook together is a little bit more secure, so we shouldn't get issues with them unhooking or catching the uphaul. The wire forestays on both jibs and 65 95 have been shortened a bit, so there's more adjustment available to you at the head of the sail. These sails don't show it, but now all the sails have an extra layer of reinforcement in all the corners, which should eliminate any eyes pulling out and just give you a slightly stiffer, more rigid sail corner. If we just move backwards, the metal tiller arm, it looks the same. It's just that the hole that the rudder shaft comes through has been narrowed slightly, so it's there's no slop in that fitting. Something now which is only on the 95, and it's the jib Cunningham arrangement. The rig instructions that come with the boat have been amended, which takes away the adjustable bowsy at the bottom here. You can now just tie the sail tack directly down to the front eye on the jib boom fitting, and the bowsy adjuster is now at the head of the sail. The reason for this is, certainly in England when it's cold, it's very easy to grab the wrong bowsy adjuster. This is the one that of course tensions down the jib boom. It makes rigging easier and you've got no confusion as to what does what. The only specific change on the 65 from the last version is the sail clue hooks on the jib and the main are from a slightly thicker gauge wire. It was only ever a problem, I think, in very strong winds with smaller rigs, but that should eliminate that problem. So that covers the changes on these two versions. Nothing is performance enhancing. They're quality improvements. It's been great to work with Joysway again. That was quite happy to do these things for us. All suggestions from owners are always welcome on any changes which they would like to see, and we consider them all. So there's the new boats. Happy sailing everyone, and we'll see you on the water.